Hi, and welcome to MonteysStyle, and this is Motorhead. This is Jim. He is one of Carol Shelby's friends. Can you believe that? That helped build this car. So we're going to get a lot of information about the Mustang. The Mustang what?
Shelby GT 500.
All right. First question, how much torque?
Well, we posted 631 foot-pounds of torque. I would challenge a lot of people to go out there and get anything less than 631. We, in this car, under-promised and over-delivered, both in the torque and the horsepower number.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. The ones that I have personally been around dynoing, so we take them out of the plant, and friends of us who, love these cars go out and take them to dynos. Substantially higher than the 662 that it is posted.
So 0 to 60 is what?
Well, you have to go to the quoted times.
I want your time.
My time was about 3.9. I'm not very good off the line. I know people and have been around people who are automotive geeks like me who have been as low as 3.7.
Wow.
3,800-pound car, 0 to 60 in first gear.
Quarter of a mile?
Quarter mile. Now, this is a good story. We all go down to Tulsa in Oklahoma in the summer, and it's normally right around Father's Day weekend, and it's hot and it's humid. We have Henry Ford III down there. The third generation. He's a KR owner. He gets into this stuff. He'd never been to a drag strip drag racing before. So we stick him in a GT 500, Shelby GT 500, very close to this one. 105-degree ambient, maybe 80% humidity, and all of us are down there. He lays down a 12.2.
In a quarter mile.
In a quarter mile. And a 12.2 with a car literally straight out of the factory, not been a drag racer before, and none of us could beat him the rest of the day. We were bitter.
You motorheads, I just know you just spilt your beer.
I mean, there are good drag racers and good people like our test engineers who have gone well below 12.
All right, so show me what's new about the new Mustang.
The Shelby GT 500 for 13 and the 14 model year, 662 horsepower, 631 foot-pounds of torque, quad-tipped exhaust, if you notice in the back there, to get that gurgle, throaty rumble that Carol and anybody who loves motors loves. But when they redesigned this, the SVT engineers went through and said, okay, well, we had two goals. One is to be over 600 horsepower, and the other one was to be top test track speed of over 200 miles an hour. Both
V6 turbo or 8?
This is a V8. This is a 5.8 aluminum block, Eaton-based supercharged V8 engine. But every time the engineers went to change something to get to that, then they had to change something farther down the line. So what started out as a minor exercise, to improve the performance of an already stout 540 horsepower GT5 Shelby GT 500, so they changed the blower, and then they changed the block, and then they changed the intake, and then they changed the exhaust manifold, and then they changed the gearing in the transmission, then they changed the suspension. So they took all of those things and made it completely new from the outgoing 2012 to what you see here today.
So with all that, is this a nice, smooth riding vehicle? Is it solid?
Yeah, and it is a performance beast. No two questions
I know that.
About it. It is 0 to 60 in first gear. It is quarter mile through 3 gears, and I've had it at a trap speed of over 128 miles an hour, and I didn't do the 3/4 shift.
And you didn't call my number?
we'll have to bring you down, because it's a lot of fun when we go out and do this stuff. But it is also compliant. There is a balance between the unbridled performance and the drive. Now, I've driven this car thousands of miles. My family grew up in Chicago, and I live in Michigan. I've driven this car with the Recaro seats from Detroit to Michigan on Michigan interstates, which aren't the smoothest roads on the planet, and it is more than comfortable. It is a compliant car for the long drive, and the moment you step on that throttle,
So you put your wife and kids in this car and cruise.
Well, I have 3 daughters.
Okay.
So
which one is the gearhead?
So all of them are into it. My 15-year-old, who's getting her license in July, learned how to drive a manual 6-speed on the Boss 302. She's driven a 650 horsepower version of the 07 Shelby GT 500. So she has learned what it takes, and she kind of makes the guys feel bad that she knows all this stuff. So yeah, I stick my 3 daughters and I in this car, and we drive everywhere in it.
He's a whipper with his daughters in the car. Which one slides?
The middle daughter, Caroline, does the burnouts. She likes to do burnouts.
Wish he was my dad.
We have a lot of fun with it. We really do.
So tell me about the new technology in the car.
Well, the technology... Okay, this isn't something we sell this car on, right? Fuel economy is not really a key component of why you buy this car.
Right, but you have to remember that women are buying these cars now.
Absolutely, and this is the technology that went in it. Not only did we go up over 100 horsepower and go up in displacement and go up in size of the supercharger, the engineering team, Kerry Baldori, Jamal Hamidi, and their team actually raised the fuel economy by over 1 mile per gallon, including adding 100 horsepower to it. So
in the Shelby
GT 500, they went from 540 horsepower to 662 and gained a highway mile per gallon. It's not gas guzzler. Most of there's no other car in the world. This is the most powerful production V8 in the world at any price, but there's not another car under $120,000.
So what did you do? Did you change the tire width? What did you do?
Well, the tires are new from 12 to the 13-14 version. The block, 5/8 aluminum block, they changed the calibration with it going in. They made it more efficient airflow coming in so that the fuel burns better. The tires are different, but they're still racing-related compound tires, so there is a substantial amount of drag that you want because you want that grippiness. But the engineering went into the calibration and the airflow management and basically what the explosion that happens in the cylinders is much more efficient, and that is all technology-based.
But on that, what about the noise inside the cabin?
Inside the cabin now, I don't know how much.
Because the 205 was horrible.
Well, I got to tell you.
But I love the 205.
In the Mustang GT, we actually pipe the engine noise into the car because the consumers want to feel that. So it's not so good a sound dampening that on the Mustang GT we actually have to pipe the noise in because the customer said it was too quiet. No, but a very quiet and comfortable ride inside while delivering that performance.
Now, I was going to say that because most Americans that are gearheads, they want to feel their car, and the noise that you feel inside your car is totally Mustang.
I could not agree more. From 05 forward, we literally take the engine, the exhaust, and the calibration into the sound studio so that we can tune the vehicle to the sound that Mustang owners desire.
All right, so let's pop that hood and you tell me what's in there.
Absolutely, we'll look at it here. Yeah, this is the Shelby GT 500 engine, and we were talking a little bit before about what have we done differently to generate the horsepower. First, with the Eaton-based supercharger, you can see the impeller blades here where it forces the air in are at a much different angle and made of a much different material.
So it makes it cooler now.
It's cooler and more compressed. So what you're doing is you're forcing air. Air burns more efficiently under pressure. So what you're doing is you're actually pumping in compressed air through the air intake to the cylinders to fire. And Eaton and the team from SVT worked on this blower specifically for this application. Inside you can see, and we haven't cut out enough of it, but they overboard basically the 5.4 to get to the 5.8, but with that there had to be incremental cooling. So there are cooling jets drilled into the side through the aluminum as the block is made to make sure that while this engine is generating that power and heat, that it can be maintained cool. And then of course cooler actually makes it more efficient while it's running. You can see from the back side here the twin independent variable cam timing TIVCT, which means you basically control the flow of the opening of the valves. The piston comes up in here in the opening of the valves independently, which allows you to calibrate the engine for how you would like to do it, and that's what it's TIVCT technology. Some of the other changes in there, yeah, the larger bore, low pressure sand cast aluminum block. This is made by Hansel in Germany, and the gas plasma technology that we use almost makes it frictionless.
You said Hansa, that name?
Hansel. It's a supplier of Ford Motor Company. They make the blocks here for us for this engine.
But didn't they make the block for the GT Ford?
Ford GT, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they were the same company that did it. And some of the same architecture is actually in with this 5.8 that was in there. Now, it's not the same engine, obviously, but it's some of the same architecture. So what you have is the gas plasma. What you do is gas is loaded into the cylinder and then ignited, and that coating that goes on the cylinder won the same technological award that the Jarvis Hart did.
Yes.
That makes it almost frictionless in there. And why is that important? Well, the friction causes drag, which then sucks power out of it. Those are some of the key technologies that we have in this engine to have, our engineering team, Jamal and Carrie and Herman, the guys who really put this car together, made it more efficient and powerful.
All right, Jim, you work for Ford. I don't want a discount. I just want a vehicle. So how do we go about this? Because I don't want to get gangster on you.
I think what we need to do is we need to go out to a racetrack and race for pink slips. We'll do Shelby on Shelby. We'll race. You win, you get the car.
He wants my 64 Mustang.
I really want a 64 Mustang.
In mint condition.
In mint condition, since Mustang is going to be celebrating.
This interview is over and GM is leaving now. This is MonteysStyle at the Ford display at the GT. What?
Shelby GT 500.
Makes me sick when he says that. All right, this is Motorhead, and we will catch you again. Thank you. Hey now, somehow now. Hey, let's go over.
Is that car? This was different.